Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Glenn Yancey, director of the Txoko. So what we're going to make today is a tagine. Tagine is a dish that comes from Morocco that many of the Moroccan Jews, Tunisian Jews, and Algerian Jews would eat on a daily basis, and typically it's a one-pot meal. So to make this one-pot meal, we're going to discuss how we assemble everything, and this is going to be a fish dish. So this is going to be a fish tagine with something called charmoula. Charmoula is think of it as an herb salsa that we use to marinate the fish. So we've let that sit in the refrigerator for 2 hours, and then after that, we're going to take it back out and then assemble everything into one pot. So let's discuss how we do this.
First, we have a little bit of prep work to make the tagine. We need to start with that charmoula that I had mentioned earlier. The charmoula is going to be the spice-infused marinade that we will be using to marinate our cod and our pollock, which are both the varieties of whitefish that I chose to use to make this tagine. So here are the ingredients that we will use to make the charmoula: cilantro, parsley, grated ginger, freshly minced garlic, toasted cumin seeds, saffron threads, coarse kosher salt, black peppercorns, allspice berries, ground cinnamon, preserved lemon, which are pickled lemons, a quarter cup of lemon juice, which are regular lemons, olive oil, sweet smoked paprika, cayenne pepper, and honey. I toasted the cumin, peppercorns, allspice berries, and saffron. The main thing to note there is that we're not trying to burn these ingredients. We just want to get the internal oils to be released upon grinding them with kosher salt in a spice grinder or a mortar and pestle, which I had used. So after we grind that, we then mix with the cinnamon, paprika, and cayenne pepper. In the food processor, I added a bunch of cilantro and a bunch of parsley, along with the preserved lemon, the freshly ground spices, grated ginger, minced garlic, and the lemon juice. Pulse to get the mixture to break down the ingredients. Then, while the food processor is off, use a wooden spatula to quickly push down any excess on the wall of the food processor. Then set to low. While drizzling in the olive oil, lemon juice, and honey, we want to make sure that everything incorporates. After it does, then we set to high. Place the fish into a container, pour the charmoula on top, and cover with plastic film, and then set in the refrigerator for at least 2 hours up to overnight. Try not to go more than 12 hours with marinade, as the acidic citrus juice could slowly start to cook the fish, which is not what we want. We don't want to make ceviche, which is another dish that we'll discuss at a later date. Now on to the assembly of the tagine. In one bowl, I've sliced up 4 large potatoes in quarter-inch slices and cut carrots lengthwise into quarters, no longer than 2 inches. Take a teaspoon of turmeric, sweet paprika, garlic powder, ground ginger powder, coarse kosher salt, ground black pepper, a drizzle of honey, a drizzle of sherry vinegar or apple cider vinegar, and whisk with 1 cup of olive oil. Then pour over the potato and carrot slices and make sure everything is well coated. Set to the side for an hour or 2 to marinate. I've also sliced up some tomatoes and onions into quarter-inch slices, along with 3 red bell peppers, which I've cut into strips. Chop up some large green olives to place on top at the very end with some lemon slices. In the base of the clay tagine, I've added some olive oil and some ghee. Ghee is actually clarified butter, which you will see from recipes from Morocco all the way to India. Add some turmeric and about a teaspoon to the bottom of the base with a teaspoon of kosher salt. The first level of the assembly of the fish tagine is going to be the onion slices. You may not have to add all of the onions, but just enough to well coat the bottom of the base. Then add just the potatoes on top of the onions. It's okay to drizzle some of that potato marinade on top of the potatoes. Then we will add slices of tomatoes on top of the potatoes. On top of that, we will add our marinated fish. You can drizzle some of the marinade or chermoula on top of that as well. Arrange the carrots and bell pepper slices with the strips facing the center. Set the tagine on a burner for medium to medium high. If your burner is a coil burner, by the way, or a gas burner, it is highly recommended to get a diffuser, which will evenly distribute the heat of the tagine. Once you start to hear the onions begin to snap, crackle, and pop, then drizzle about a tablespoon of honey on top with the lemon slices and chopped olives, and then place the top of the tagine onto the base. Wait about 1 or 2 minutes before setting the burner to medium-low. The tagine will use convection of the cylindrical dome to evenly cook the dish, with moisture condensating back into the dish. Leave on that medium-low setting for about 90 minutes. Once finished, my personal preference is to remove the lid and place under a broiler for 4 to 5 minutes on high. Remove as much of that marinade from on top of the fish as possible before putting it into the broiler. This will help give some color, flavor, and texture from the slight char of the broiler. Add some chopped mint and cilantro after removing from the broiler for presentation and a bit of herbal freshness. Now to plate. You can create some couscous or some simple quinoa alternative. In that case, I made a quinoa dish as a healthier alternative to couscous. Top with the fish and vegetables and add salt and pepper to taste. Bete avon. You now have made a fish tagine, also known as nkwali, which I just butchered in the pronunciation. This is a perfect dish for Rosh Hashanah, as well as to enjoy in your sukkah. So I wish you a Shana Tova, Txoko, and a Tizku L'Shanim Rabot. May your coming year be good and sweet, and may you have many years to enjoy it. And may you also be inscribed and sealed for a good year. Take care, and thank you for watching this recipe from the Txoko.